Last new comic book day should have just been considered Mirka Andolfo Day. Hey everybody, it's your boy Nerdicane. I'm reviewing this one. I may do this one later. This one is uncensored. It's a Conan book. It's an adaptation of a Conan book. It's Ablaze. Ablaze is a little more adult. There is some nudity. There's some sex scenes in this. It's not like porn. Like the definition of porn is I don't know how to I can't describe it, but I know it when I see it. It's sexy. It's sexy like a movie that they used to show on HBO. It's not over the top porn, but that's what this is. It's brutal. It's sexy. The reason I have this out is because Mirka Andolfo did the cover. I was walking by. This is how you sell a comic without saying a word. I didn't know this was coming out. I think I read an article about these coming to Ablaze. A little more of the uncensored version of the Conan books coming out soon. So I was walking past in my comic shop, all the stands, all the racks, and this cover, the color, the composition, the look just jumped out at me. If you want to sell a comic, you get someone like Mirka Andolfo, you get somebody with a really beautiful, a professional style. That's why so many DC books and Marvel books just kind of blend away, and they have this kind of, DC especially has this like super busy style on a lot of their covers, and it just becomes a multicolored mess. But look at this, the shapes are beautiful, the lines are beautiful. It's a very comic book style, but it's very realistic. This one here is done by Humberto Ramos, another guy who I really like. And this is the book that I'm doing here. This is Mercy. I can't show you all of this because this is a little bit like, this was like comics for mature people. Both of these comics have sex in them. This one doesn't have, I don't think this one has nudity, but it has a part with a threesome in it. And it's not, once again, it's, how do I say, tastefully done. But it's kind of cool, and it does so many of the things that a good comic book should, especially something like this, sort of like horror suspense. You don't know. It gives you a little flashback to something that happened in this town long ago, and it's sort of almost these Lovecraftian type monster that I guess it just hints at what happened. They sort of dug this up in a mine, and suddenly they had to stop it. And you get this situation where he comes along, and one of the victims from this, he's talking to, and I suspect I know kind of what's going on. It just hints at things. It doesn't really give too much away, and that's what this should do. It should pique your interest, should make you interested in the characters, what their deal is, and things like that. And then it should, at some point, say, "Hey, come back to the next issue to find out more." I'm definitely in. This is Mirka Andolfo. Mirka Andolfo, how do I describe her? She's the talent, she has the level of talent that a lot of the people who get praised in comics journalism nowadays, she has the level of talent that they receive the level of praise of. She's kind of under the radar. You don't really see a whole lot of articles about her. I don't know if she speaks English. She's Italian. As you see here, this is made in Arancia Studio, Turin, Italy. That's Orange Studios. I lived in Italy for a little while. Anytime I see Turin, Italy mentioned, I think of the Beast of Turin. And if you don't know what the Beast of Turin is, it's a car. It's a very old car. Go to YouTube and go see what the Beast of Turin is. This is like, it should be an orc vehicle. It's so insane when you see the Beast of Turin and you're like, they used to race this? They used to go like flat out as fast as they could with this, and you go see it. You'll thank me later. Once again, her artwork is absolutely beautiful. Whether she's doing the style of unnatural, the style of unsacred, her cover art like she did there, if she's doing this style, it's just absolutely beautiful. She is, I don't know how long she's been in the comic industry, but she is very, very good at drawing. She's very good at composition. She's very good at layouts. And she's very good as a writer. As you find out in this first scene with this young orphan girl and sort of a dynamic that's being set up in the town. You sort of start to see the structure of the town. This was the lady from the mine explosion whose husband was killed. And they're mourning a lot of the people who died in that tragedy. Some of the locals are giving her some guff about being there, and that comes to kind of bite them in the ass later on. But you get a situation with the orphan girl and this brother and sister here, where they, he's kind of taking pity on her, and they're interacting. They have some interaction with her. She's kind of an outcast in the town, but in just this page, the dynamic of these two siblings and the way they treat this girl, the way they both, neither of them are callous to her, but they're sort of loving in their own way. The woman is a little more tough love. The guy is a little more, he's a little softer. He's a lot nicer, but their dynamic is just it's something so human about the way that they're written and the way they're portrayed. And a lot of these characters, there's just things so human about them. And once again, look at that. That's beautiful. America Andolfo, like, her men are beautiful, her women are beautiful, her layouts are beautiful. It is an absolute joy whenever I pick up Unsacred. Whenever I pick up a book done by Mirka Andolfo, I get that feeling, that excitement that you should from a comic book when you're like, okay, I'm going to enjoy this visually, and I'm going to enjoy the writing. I'm going to have like with Unsacred, I'm going to have a laugh out of this. So I'm gushing a little bit about this, but it absolutely deserves it. So you get to hear with, I think her name is Mercy, and Mr. Goodwill, and you kind of see the dynamic of them, and there's something off about them. There's something off about her, and you see that, it's just a scene where he's like kind of lightly poking at her and saying, it asks her to smile. They hint that they're acting at something, that they're playing at something. He mentions, you smile, you're just smiling with your mouth. You're supposed to smile with your whole face, your eyebrows, your eyes, your forehead. All of that is supposed to smile. And it's odd, but there's something not exactly human. But I mean, if you look at her, she's absolutely beautiful. She's gorgeous. But that belies this whole interaction, and the way she acted belies something just not right about that. And you start to see this a little later in the book. I'm not even going to show you like half of this book. I mean, look at this. Once again, here later, she gets it right when she's interacting with this kid named Tom, who's driving the coach that they're taking to the town. You find out the young orphan has been taken in by this dude. He's sort of like something out of a Charles Dickens book, where his kindness has taken her in along with all these other orphans, but yet he's got them basically in a sweatshop. But that's it. That's all I'm going to give you. There's monsters. There's, like I said, these Lovecraftian style monsters, and you see it later in this book. At the end of the book, you're left wondering. You're like, oh, it kind of reveals something at the end that sets up the dynamic of those two characters of Mercy and what do they call her, Mrs. Sorry, I forget what they call her. They call her Mrs. something, and you kind of sets up the dynamic, and you're like, oh, they might be monsters, and you kind of think that you know that they're monsters, and they're sort of playing at being human. You wonder, okay, what are they up to? If they're the focus of this book, if they're the protagonists, where does that leave the people in the town as well? But I highly recommend this. Go get it. There was it can be picked up on shelves. I read an article, Image put out an article that was kind of one of these canned promotional articles that was like, Mercy #1 sold out. And I'm like, was it really? Is it really Image? Or it felt like I hesitate to say fake news. It just felt like it was written long before the book ever came out, and that's part of the promotion is to as you do in sales, there's certain things in sales, fear of hope to gain, fear of missing out. These are things that you use to motivate a buyer, and this seems like fear of missing out by putting out an article that says that this is sold out already. I do recommend that you go buy this. I hope this does sell out. I hope it goes to a second or third printing. Mirka Andolfo is really good. She's really talented. She's working very hard. She's very good with the fans. She went to Emerald City Comic Con when everybody else bailed out because of coronavirus. She's there doing like a 3-day signing. So yeah, she's putting herself out there. She's meeting the fans and she's good with the fans. So that should be rewarded. And I see big things for this young lady. I'd love to see. I'm kind of wondering where she's going to land, whether she's going to keep being very successful at independence like this, doing her own thing. And I kind of hope that's what she does. But part of me thinks I would love to see her do a run of Wonder Woman. I would love to see her. I'd even love to see her do Batman. I think that would be very interesting. Give her a mini or give her a run on Batman. As you see from her craft and the way she draws and the love and the time and the effort that she puts into these. Look at that. That's a statue. That's beautiful. She's absolutely deserving of it. And she's absolutely deserving of your time and your money for buying the book. So go out and buy this. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your time. Hit a like, hit a subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you went out and bought this, I don't think I've ever had anybody say, hey, I went out and bought this because of your review. If you do, that would warm my heart. That would make me feel really good on this cold and crappy and rainy day. But that's all I got for this one. Thank you for your time. You guys go out, have a good day. Bye.